Hey guys, welcome to the channel, and this is a special little mini series, I guess, that I'm doing. Basically, I've been wanting to make my dream home in The Sims because eventually, one day, my hubby and I would love to build our own house in real life. And I don't know, I spent a lot of time looking at what I've always wanted and just kind of conceptualizing the basic shape of the house and really thinking what exactly I wanted it to look like. And so the hubby and I, we decided that we want to make a somewhat of a craftsman styled house. So yeah, and I ended up actually changing this a little bit, and I also moved the house to a 50 by 50 lot because it was just way too small. I have no idea why I even started on this little lot, but yeah, so here we're just doing the basic shape of the house and kind of figuring out what I wanted the top of the house to look like and the roof and everything. So yeah, I thought it turned out really nice, and I actually had a lot of input from the hubby because this is his dream house too, so I really wanted to include him in this build as much as I could. So yeah, and I didn't show a lot of what I did with the roofing only because it took me forever, and so this is pretty much what I ended up with eventually. But I also changed the back end of it later, so I wasn't liking how the roof was clipping into the rooms. So yeah, and I also changed the exterior paint because as much as I love siding and blue and stone and all that, the hubby was like, no siding. I don't want to clean it. So so I ended up changing everything to red brick because we both like that a lot. We both absolutely love brick houses. So yeah, and as much as I like the idea of having a penthouse or a giant mansion or whatever, I took a more realistic approach to how I wanted to build the house. So it would be something that could actually happen in real life. So yeah, when he actually took a look at this at this point, he was like, nice try making it blue because blue is one of his favorite colors. He's like, no siding. So yeah, here I'm just making the fencing in the backyard. I wanted to have a really big backyard and a pool back there. So yeah, and now we're going into the kitchen on the inside of the house. So these counters are a mod, and they've been recolored, so they have the really pretty wooden top, which is what I wanted. I actually used a ton of custom content in this house, so if you wanted to download this house and you want or like some of the custom content I use, I'm going to provide all the links to the custom content that I used down below in the description, so you can check that out. And because some of this stuff is really amazing, like the cabinets on top, they're an extension of, I think they're the alpha beta Phong countertops and cabinets. But you'll see here in a minute that you can actually put items inside the cabinets, which is amazing. And yeah, so there's that. And then I also found this tabletop stove, but unfortunately when I was playtesting it, it does not work, sadly. But that's really what I want in real life. I want a tabletop stove, and yeah, so it looks really nice, but it's not exactly functional. So I ended up replacing that later. Here I'm just doing the entryway. These light fixtures I absolutely love. I like how they look and bounce off of the objects in the room. So anyway, so these entryway, like, I don't know what they would be called, but they're like benches and they have some storage space in them, and they actually work as a dresser, so you can have your Sims go over here and change into whatever. But yeah, so I don't know. I thought this would be kind of a fun little thing to do for you guys so you can get to know me a little bit as far as what I like aesthetically. So the outside is pretty traditional, I think, but I really want the inside to be a little more modern. I absolutely love vintage anything, especially mid-century modern style type things. So that's what I tried to do mostly throughout the house. And you'll definitely see that when we do the living room and a little bit of the dining room as well. Here I'm just placing a dining room table. I wanted to choose something that was the most mid-century modern, at least to me. I had a really hard time figuring out what chairs I would want if I was a Sim. I love that rug. And there was actually a chair that came with the vintage glamour stuff pack. Unfortunately, it's not technically a dining room chair. It's a living room chair. And I don't understand why, because it would be an amazing dining room chair, especially because, I mean, it's kind of exactly what I wanted, but that's okay. I ended up picking something else, and I thought having this little if you saw, I put the little food scraps on the floor because I'm the cook in the family, and I usually, well, most likely, I will always make a mess in the kitchen. So the poor hubby always has to pick up after me, but he doesn't complain because I make pretty good food. At least, I don't know. That's just me, my opinion. Yeah, I would really love a pool one day. The hubby was actually a pool maintenance boy when we were dating. Super glamorous. So at least he knows I didn't marry him for his money. But yeah, he used to go around and maintain people's pools. Oh, this artwork, it's so pretty, but I didn't have the mesh for it, so anyway, yeah, these posters, they're vintage movie posters, and Casablanca is actually one of my favorite movies in the entire world. I see it every year around the same time. I'm actually due to see it. I need to see it this month. I always see it every January. It's like a weird little tradition for myself. But yeah. Oh, and oh my gosh. So if you guys know the struggle, you know that the gray paints that came with the base game, like, they're not actually gray. They're kind of purpley, kind of brown. I don't know. They're not gray. So I was so happy to find some custom content of these beautiful shades of gray. Yeah, I was so happy that I found it. And actually, I think it's based on the brand Behr Paints, and there's 5 parts to it. So I don't remember the creator, but don't worry, I'll link it all in the description. But they basically just did 5 different parts, and they're all based on Behr Paints. And so there's like one for grays, one that's like bright colors, one that's more pastel. So it's really, really cool. And they have a really nice texture. So it's not all just flat, and they actually look like walls. So that's really nice. So this little room up here is my office. I wanted it to be in the front of the house because I think that I would get some really nice light from the front of the house, and I would be able to see like what's going on outside, and I don't know. And I would love to paint more. I can paint and I love painting, but I just haven't really had time for it, or really I haven't made time to do it. So yeah, but I really love to paint. So I made sure to put an easel in here. And if you didn't know, I'm actually a graphic designer. So aside from doing all my sim stuff, I do some freelancing, and I just kind of do some work here and there at home. So that's pretty awesome. I get to work from home on the side and just enjoy making content for the channel. And yeah, so it's a pretty sweet gig, and I'm pretty happy about it. So this little room here next to my office, okay, so my ultimate dream is to have a secret library. And I don't even care if it's huge or not. Like, just having a little room that I and the hubby really knows about, that I can just go to and kind of sit by the window and read whatever. Like, that's the dream. So I really wanted to include a secret room with a bookcase door. But yeah, that's one of my ultimate dreams. So this chair, the gray lounge chair, that's also custom content, and I really love this chair. Like, I need it in my life. I also love these. They came with City Living. But yeah, the chair, it's not Max's Match, and you can kind of tell, but I loved it so much to not care. This rug, I actually have a rug that's similar to this, but it has more orange in it, and it's not so blotchy, I guess. So I take that back. It's not like this rug at all. But it's the same idea. I thought about using this, I don't know, this bar cart, but I ended up moving that to the dining room because it made more sense to me. And I found this record player. The record player is custom content as well. And I just got a record player for Christmas. The hubby, his mom, so my mother-in-law, she got us a record player for Christmas, and I absolutely adore it. Like, just sitting down by the window with some tea, listening to Ella Fitzgerald on a record player, it probably is one of my favorite things in the world. I'm not even kidding. Oh, and that artwork you just saw, the Mars one, I couldn't believe that I found the set, because I actually do want those. They are these really old collections of retro inspired artwork that NASA did to just promote space exploration and whatever. But I love them so much. Like, they're so retro, and I need them. But yeah. So now I'm just making a little bathroom. I guess this would be like a guest bathroom as well as the bathroom that you would go into if you were swimming in the pool, so you didn't have to go in the house and make a mess. Thinking ahead here. So this is the patio area. I really like the idea of having a raised deck, but this is the chair that I wanted to use. So sad. But anyway, one of the things that is super important to my dream house is the fact that we really want a separated garage and like a loft type of thing above the garage. Oh, here is where I moved it to a 50 by 50 lot. But yeah, so we want to have a separated garage and a loft above the garage area underneath. But the only way this would work is if we didn't have a raised foundation, because in The Sims, unfortunately, you can't have like one structure have a foundation and another structure not have a foundation, unfortunately. And I so wish that they would change that. But as you can see, no more blue siding, because at this point, you know, the hubby was like, not having it. So I changed it all to brick. And I don't know, to be honest, I kind of like it better. And that's one of those things that you have to do in a marriage, is to compromise. So we've gotten pretty good at that, I think. Here I'm just sizing up some toy cars. We actually have a white Prius, so this kind of made me laugh when I sized up the little white car, because it's pretty accurate. And the blue car I'm going to say is a Tesla, because this is my dream house, so it's whatever. Since we have a separated garage, I thought it would be nice to have a path going from the front to the driveway, and the driveway is like super long, so it would probably take like 10 minutes to go from the street to the actual garage. But that's okay. We don't have to be completely realistic here. But yeah. Oh, this is only going to be part 1, because I literally took like 6 hours to try and make this house. And so the next part is going to be the upstairs, the garden, and the loft that's above the garage. So that'll be part 2, and then there'll be a machinima going through the house, and you'll see me and the hubby as a sim, which will be great. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this first part, and I can't wait for you guys to see the second part and everything all done and finished. Oh, and tomorrow is going to be the first episode of my decade build series, so make sure you look out for that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next part. Bye!